Hey everybody, big news. In 2 weeks, I'm going to again be driving at the Albert Lee Cup on Lake Washington. Here she is. I think she'll clean up pretty good. Hey everybody, great to have you back again. Chip Hanauer, the boat guy. You know, I was an unlimited hydroplane driver for, gosh, I know, about 30 years. And as a driver, there are some days that just go perfect.
A dream about to come true for Chip Hanauer as he accelerates for the last time across the line, and Chip Hanauer has won the Gold Cup.
But frankly, there's other days, things don't go so good. To tell you the truth, as a driver, I didn't really understand how everything in an unlimited hydroplane works, but I do know a guy who can explain everything to us. David Williams from the Unlimited Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum here in Kent, Washington. David, can you give us basically Hydros 101, explain how one of these things actually works?
I'd be happy to.
So David, these are powered by old helicopter turbines from the Vietnam War era. Now, it's got a big exhaust pipe. Does that mean a turbine is a jet, that a boat's moving because of the thrust?
No, and that's probably the biggest misunderstanding about hydroplanes. They see that big shiny exhaust tube and they think that's a jet engine. What we have inside the turbine is half of a jet engine, but at the back of the jet engine, there's a giant fan, almost like a pinwheel, and that pinwheel turns from the exhaust, and that in turn turns a propeller.
So, thrust from the engine used to turn a pinwheel, a windmill, which turns a propeller shaft, which is attached to a propeller. Thrust turned into mechanical horsepower to spin a propeller. Okay, so I understand what's making the boat go.
Right.
But when I turn the steering wheel, what's happening?
Okay, the steering wheel up in the cockpit is attached by long cables back to the rudder. And when you turn the steering wheel, the cables pull on the rudder and turn the rudder. And that's going to move the back of the boat one way or the other.
So I'm going down the straightaway.
Right.
I turn the rudder, the back of the boat now spins, but the boat's just going to go sideways.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why there's this big fin hanging down called the skid fin. And when you're going straight, the skid fin doesn't offer any resistance. But as you turn, the fin grabs the water and brings it around.
Right.
So it's a combination of the skid fin and the rudder that makes the boat turn.
So the rudder's pitching the back of the boat this way.
Yes.
And the skid fin is pulling the front of the boat this way.
Yes.
These things are called hydroplanes.
Yes.
Explain the hydro, I get water. Explain the plane part.
All right, well, it's pretty simple. There are two things going on. You get a lot of lift from the sponsons that are like water skis that are skimming across the surface. But the majority of the lift comes from the center section, which is essentially a wing that is generating lift. But it's a wing designed to operate in the boundary layer, which is the air that's real close to the water.
So if I look right here, this looks like the leading edge of an airplane wing that I would fly.
Yes.
So to me, it looks like this whole thing is just maybe an airplane wing with training wheels.
You got it.
What does this wing back here do, and what does this little wing up here do?
All
Let's
right.
start back here.
Well, there are two wings on the boat. The rear wing is set from the beach. And the idea with that is it should be set absolutely at neutral. So when the boat's going along, that wing doesn't do anything. But if the boat pitches nose up, then the rear wing goes into a positive angle of attack and lifts the boat. So that's there as a fixed safety net. The wing up front is controllable from the cockpit, and it does sort of the same thing, except the driver has control of that. If the front of the boat starts to come up, there's a foot pedal the driver pushes, and that would bring the trailing edge up, which would force the nose down. If the boat is real sticky on the water and not getting enough speed, the driver pushes another pedal, which brings the trailing edge down and lifts the front of the boat up to reduce friction and get you to go faster.
All right, hydroplanes 101. First, the driver has a steering wheel. He's got a throttle with his right foot, and with his left foot, he controls an aerodynamic device in the front to keep the attitude of the boat the way he likes. Turns out an unlimited hydroplane is just a big airplane wing. It's an airplane wing with training wheels. Those are the sponsons. And it's powered with a turbine engine, not a jet. A jet makes thrust. A turbine takes that thrust and turns it into mechanical horsepower to turn propeller at the back of the boat. What it ends up being is a really big boat that goes really fast.